scapula. So free up a little bit so this opens just enough so you can come in. I use my foot a lot too, coming in the side or across.
So you're getting a little subscap there?
Yeah. If you
Okay.
once you loosen it up and then turn this way.
I like that.
Oh yeah, it's good. And you can do
Cover his face.
and check. So here's you're here. Then that's subscapular. Cause up underneath, right? So you know what to do always. Like, oh, I want to free this. One of the least worked of rotator cuff muscles, subscapularis, by far. They did a survey way down. Hardly any numbers. So, you know, once you open it. So once open this lovely way. So this first one
It's like a little shelf.
is to open up bigger. Right? Open up bigger. And you look at how your body makes contact. So rather than try to poke around and feel for this, I go right up against the rib and I slide down. And that'll put you right in that notch. So this is big opener. Big painful opener for Brad. But then if you want to do subscapularis, you can come like this because it's on the inside of scapula. You feel again, make sure where you're at. Get that point, and then you just turn right into it. So easy. Sustained pressure. Subscapularis. The only downside of this is that for some reason I've imprinted the name subscapularis into an old song. That's Guantanamero. I don't know if you know. Guantanamero, it's a Guantanamero, Guantanamero. But in my mind, it keeps on going. Subscapularis, another subscapularis.
That was your mnemonic in anatomy school.
That's the only downside of the technique.
That's the downside.
Thank you for that.
That's a little insight in that, my
So
creative.
don't do it unless you want to start singing.
Right.
Well, he's just now imprinted it in all of our unconsciouses, whether real.
Okay, so we do sideline now, yeah? And we like to make sure that the spine is aligned, so would you lift your head, bad boy, Brad? Thank you. And we take a look at the general alignment of the person when they're in sideline, because in this instance, we're working with them with their hips stacked. We're going to do a little something later where they're more collapsed. But here's stacked. So, you want to use the contact points that they use for alignment, right? So somewhere where the ear is lined up with the shoulder and the shoulder is lined up with the greater trochanter and the greater trochanter is lined up with the center of the knee and the knee is going over the ankle. So you have some sense of alignment, right? Cool. So we'll start this way, and then, but we're going to work up here because of this inequality. So I'm just going to go like this, and come down like this, and go like this to open up that hip a little bit. That's awesome. Huh? So since I got that response, I'm going to do it again. Okay? So you use your whole body. Right? Use your whole body. So, yeah? And as you're sitting, and then this foot stabilizes the knee. And that knee is in line with the hip. So you get a nice pull right out of the socket. You can see that space of the greater trochanter of the femur.
So are you only pulling and using that leg as support, or are you pulling and pushing?
No, I'm just stabilizing.
Okay.
Just stabilizing. A very good question though, because if I pushed, it would. Right. So I'm just stabilizing and just leaning back here. There, you do feel pressure, but it's only because you're. But nice, right? And then here, and then we're just going to work up. So we're going to start like this. Brad, do you have a little room just to go that way here? Okay, cool. Because we're going to start like this. right? Knee into foot, and we're gonna palm up. Pressure's okay, Brian? And one thing too, like, just move a little bit that way. Stack your hips just a little bit more. One thing about keeping their hips stacked that way, chances are better that you'll have better articulation with the extended leg. Because if they're rolled forward too much,
You get the back.
thank you. The heels up. So what kind of contact can you hope to have? You know, so roll them back a little bit so they have a little better contact. Because not everyone can be moved into correction like that. So, but nice here. So I'm gonna just come right in. Really nice to use the curve of your knee to work in the plantar surface of the foot. So we learned today that one of the meridians that starts on the bottom of the foot, kidney meridian, that kidney 1 that we were looking at, is the only meridian that starts on the bottom of the foot. So then all the 3 meridians that we were looked at yesterday, spleen, liver, and kidney, start in the foot, go up the leg. So we're just going to compress right in there like this. So nice, just working.
So you're multitasking a little.
Oh, un petit. Si, mon ami, un petit. So up, and then when you move up, make it a thing, like up, right? And you compress. So this, because you don't want to put a lot of stress here, these are just saying hello. So easy pressure, right? Easy pressure on the exhale. Because then you can transition then from that to this. Knee, right? One more shin. Knee.
More shin, is that what you said?
Yes, more shin. Knee.
Yeah.
So maybe a couple times. So you get relaxed enough to let the weight come in. And then up, right? Foot, yeah. Foot nice. Foot nice. I just love it. The contour of the arch, it's like so comforting on this end also. So this, and then this, yes? Now come around here, people in the back there, because I want you to show you something. Please. So you're sitting on the person, first of all. And again, you want to make sure that they're stacked enough so that their hips are making, their leg is making good contact with the ground. But nonetheless, you sit down, and in this technique, you're straddling, and my sacrum is right up against his, for lack of a better word, ass shelf. You know, I can feel that support in my back. All right, so you want to have good contact, and then also to make this contact better. See how his heel's up a little bit. So. Do you feel that difference, Brad, when I do that? Because it moves the articulating surface, makes better contact, just that simple thing. So then you start you start hanging out. And again, it's a combination of both of you relaxing for the pressure to come through. So for us, you know, any pucker that we have to try to let go of. It's true though, because it's like any diaphragm that's locked, or any what is it, the bundi in yoga? What do you call this?
Bundy?
Bundis, yeah. The locks. Yeah, what do you say?
Sure.
We'll do a
You got it.
subtitle thing underneath the video. It cuts things off, right? So you want to let yourself go, and if you're applying more pressure, just like when we're sitting on the quads, you just lean back and try to get some nice verticality through your spinal column so that the weight comes down. Easy. And you know, you sit for a minute or two. It gives you an ample opportunity to hopefully have some internal quietness about it, which makes the whole thing. You know, you get quiet, you can hear what they're saying. Can't, and if your mind's not quiet, you're not going to hear.
I wouldn't really do that, but if like somebody was like a bigger, like, could you cause some circulation like that?
Okay, first of all, it's a very good statement. What they call it in Thai massage is blood stop. But it doesn't necessarily stop the blood, but it slows it down a whole hell of a lot, you know. So the premise of it is that you build up some back pressure.
Okay.
That when you do finally get off, it sends that pressure and it helps open up the channels,
Okay.
right?
So you don't have to worry too
Yeah,
much
you got
about like this.
different color going on in the foot,
Yeah.
so it's slowing down.
So, but also too, you know, say if somebody, not for everybody, technique good but terrible. You know, not for everybody. Blood clots, something, things behind their knees, you know, stuff like that. You know, that's why we have intake.
Right.
But so not for everybody. But for a yoga / massage therapist, okay for Brad. You know. So I'm gonna come off here, and usually what they'll feel if you've been on there long enough is like a warm rush, you know, even like a little. So I just come off easy, right? So, and then we'll do a little thing like this. So here's, we're gonna put knee here, and just lean back, just to work the back of the leg. Okay, Brian? Work the back of the knee.
Lie down.
Just to work the center of the gastrum. See? So nice. Okay. Now we're gonna come work up, and then we're gonna come into the hip. So y'all come over here a little bit. Come, so you can see. We're going to do this in straddle position, so you're going to come over, and we're going to just start applying a little pressure here, right? Just a couple things. I'm sure a lot of you have done this before. So we're going to start in the soft tissue between the greater trochanter of the femur and the lateral border of the sacrum. So when I work, I'm a big palpator. I palpate all the time before I go in because I like to know where I'm at, and it gives some definition of the work. So these two bony landmarks, we're going to work in this crescent moon, which is all gluteal, basically. All underneath that, all lateral rotator. And intertwined with that is the gallbladder movement, which we're working on, which we're going to pick up at the hip and coming through IT band, through peroneals. We're going to visit the gallbladder source point and how it goes out the dorsal surface of the foot. So in this position, we apply some compression to help loosen the hip. But one thing I'll add, if you haven't doing this already, is to support the leg like this so it won't go away from your pressure. So if without that, they'll just keep on going like this. And that's terrible. I should start sending Kushchev royalty checks. So here's greater trochanter here, so I'm just going to apply a little palmar pressure. So if I know the greater trochanter is here, I can put my fingertips on there and just use it as a central point of rotation when I'm doing palmar compression around. So just easy, just compress down. And you're in a position where your heart, your center is right over the work, so the weight comes through pretty well. I'm going to do a couple times. And then forearm around. If accommodating, if you're working on big dude, to stop that from coming forward, you approach from this side. So then that way, their hip will stay. That pressure's okay? Right? So go right in that space. If you really want to get into a TFL, also happen to be gallbladder of 29. But as we continue into the hip, so loosening and then just IT bend. And then the line continues through here, so you can use foot compress. That way you don't have to overextend in your back, and you can manage your pressure a little bit. Also, you have the advantage of rolling it back a little bit and sinking in because you have more direct contact with the peroneals where the gallbladder line is. So those little things bring a little bit more focus to the work. And it goes right out the foot. Now the source point, or the balancing point for the gallbladder, here's the lateral malleolus. So come if you can't see. Here's the lateral malleolus. And in front of the lateral malleolus, and at the bottom, there's an indentation. This is the source point, or SUBO, for the gallbladder meridian. By number, it's gallbladder 40. So you feel for that concavity, and then you direct the pressure towards the ankle bone. And they should feel a little dull ache. I don't know if you do, Brad. But find that on yourself. Easy to find. Feel that. So look at the instruction. Find your it's their lateral malleolus, and in front and at the bottom, as you press towards the bone, you'll feel a little indentation. And you should also find a little dull ache living in that little indentation. Y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Not a very vocal group. Are you finding it? If not, have the person next to you find it. That was made up. That was fabricated out. I know the difference. Okay, and then just press into the top of the foot, and it goes right out fourth toe. So that's this portion of gallbladder meridian. Nice direct pressure. But I'll just add one thing, and then we'll exchange. So, you know, working here is interesting because of thick muscle, right? So this was one approach. Also, too, you could come up and use your foot. Here, Lisa, you come up and try this for a second. I'll help you. So think about the contour here. So stand up, be from over there.
Oh, come on.
So here's soft spot. Put your heel right there. And just sink in. Brad? So you feel the softness under your heel? Lovely application for foot pressure because of the support of the body, but also the way it's laid out for it. And it's broad enough so it can take nice pressure. So now if you were, thank you. If you were going down the IT band, following the gallbladder meridian, you think it would be a good idea to turn this way, right? So that you can get the contour goes right over. Pressure okay, Brian? And
Great.
just sinking in nice on exhale. And then when you come down, maybe try to keep your heel planted. Try plant it first and press down, and then if not, you can come right on top of it. Depends on the size. If it feels better just stepping on it,
Yeah.
please do. Go ahead. It's okay with me. Pressure okay now, bro?
That's great.
So awesome. And you feel the contour, right? So easy. Leaning in on the exhale. Working gallbladder meridian. Also, all the gluteal, the rotators, the IT band, the lateral border of vastus lateralis, the peroneals. Nice, yeah. Great.
When
Do you feel like you've observed over time that like people with chronically tight IT bands like have issues with their gallbladder meridian, or do you think they're not necessarily related?
I think that maybe that's a good question because you know the IT band is like the most popular area right now,
Yeah.
and you know it's holding ground though. It's saying no, I just don't want to loosen up, y'all, because then your knee will get all floppy as shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
But I understood.
So good for the good for the IT band, but because of the symmetry of the gallbladder right there, I would think it would add to something like that. Also, but too, in Chinese medicine, since gallbladder is associated with wood, when there's excessive energy in the gallbladder or a jitsu situation, it adds to stiffness. So then the walking becomes impaired. Because so it reflects in that way if we're tight IT band, but because of the stiffness. Because its partner gallbladder what it does, gallbladder function in Chinese medicine is that it sends lubrication to all the joints, right? So it works in that symmetry, and because the gallbladder's on the outside, it's considered like a structural meridian because it keeps things contained so that when you apply energy, you move forward, right? So people with excessive gallbladder stuff, if they're like, one of the things is they're like big mind about everything. This. So it's dispersing energy. Their gallbladder is all over the place. So a lot of times it's hard for them to go forward.
What if they have their gallbladder removed?
It's still part of their energy matrix.
Okay.
And then usually the liver picks up a little bit of the slack.
Okay.
But dig that. I mean, so when the gallbladder is too full and dispersed, when people are multitasking too much, it's hard to move forward as much as they like.
And
Cut-
focus.
Pardon me?
And focus too.
Focus is hard, or else very brief, excessive and very brief.
That's
It's exactly.
I have all those things.
Everything I say sometimes, like, well, I got a little bit of that. So anyway, so last thing to do, so that's standing also good. So I'm giving you some options on how to work, right? So you can choose for yourself your body type, the person's temperament, how you're feeling that day. You should take those into consideration, right? Because there's so many things to do. It's limiting if you just do it because you know it's good. You look at the situation in the moment. What's good? And sure enough, I bet you one time, you just say, I'm just going to stand up and step on Brother Brad, because that seems like the right thing to do. Other thing to do is this. So you can come up like this, and you can use forearm, right? And this way you can really lean in and hold, right? So we're going to try a couple of those things. I'll talk you through this, and then when you get here, I'll cut you loose and you try a few different things. Because that's what gallbladder's all about. Lots of options to do. Okay, so nice. So it's I gotta say something about this posture. It feels so good. As far as therapist goes, I don't know about you guys, but that feels good for me.
Feels great.
There's something about it. You're so grounded with it, and the way you're moving out from your center. So nice. Okay, cool. So let's